Here by the river's edge, sit. We hang our hearts on the palm trees, for they carried us away. Then they asked us for joy. They say, sing those songs of Zion. How can we sing those songs? Close my eyes, and though I'm silent, realize that Zion, I will remember you. Zion, I will remember you. That's another place. One more time, I will see your face, and my eyes will fill with tears of joy, and I will sing those songs again. But for now, by the river's edge, sit. We hang our hearts on the trees, for they carry us away. Then they asked us for joy. They say, sing those songs. Zion.
Good morning. Please center with me as I read Judson's land acknowledgement. Your place is more than just a piece.
Don't even begin.
What? There, okay. Thank you. Please center with me as I read Judson's land acknowledgement. Place is more than just a piece of land. It is a piece of who we are. For too long, we have associated this place where Judson sits with our European American roots, forgetting the people who call this place home for centuries before us. Minnesota Makoche, land where the waters reflect the sky, and specifically this part of the Twin Cities, is the ancestral home of Dakota Wapakute people. It is home to their creation stories. It is where they hunted, fished, harvested, and cared for the land, raised families, celebrated life and community, and laid their loved ones to rest. We acknowledge that we, the people, our ancestors and governments, forcibly removed Wapakute from their ancestral lands through relocation, warfare, execution, imprisonment in concentration camps, starvation, disease, and forced assimilation. Treaties were made and subsequently broken by us. We remember and lament the history of this land. Today, we acknowledge and appreciate our Dakota, Anishinaabe, and other indigenous people as neighbors and fellow citizens. We commit to do better by our neighbors, to stand with them and to learn from them as we seek to create a community that sees the Creator's face in everything.
Thank you for the line acknowledgement, Paul. And thank you, Scott and Jane. Hey, great to have you all. Thank you all for being here. Good stuff, great stuff. Caught you off guard, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. And good morning, everybody. Welcome to Judson Memorial Baptist Church. My name is Travis Norville, the pastor of this wonderful, amazing congregation. It is Communion Sunday today, and I mention that because we have a very particular Norwegian flavor to it, not just the musicians. But we've been trying, last month we had this experiment of communion as dinner party. And afterwards, Bruce Elliott was like, we need to take this to another level. I have this rye bread that I make. So Bruce made loaves of rye bread. And then also had donated some Norwegian Ski Queen cheese, if you know this. These wonderful little blocks of brown cheese. It's wonderful on waffles. It's absolutely amazing on waffles. During the pandemic, there was a rush on this, and you would go to the store, do you have Ski Queen cheese in? And people would be like, no, we still haven't got our order, we're waiting. So, well, let's see what goes today, right? So there you go. Hopefully that anticipation, right? You're just going to be on pins and needles the rest of the service, waiting to come here. But here we are. I don't know if you heard this week, there was a wonderful discussion on NPR about, it had 3 college presidents talking about higher education in Minnesota right now. And the president of St. Thomas had this little, almost like a little benediction that he said that he repeats almost at every official capacity action he's at. And I try to adapt it. I think it's perfect for what we're trying to do here. So what is the purpose of you coming here on a Sunday? Or what is the purpose of, like, when you leave here, what do we want to happen? If you've attended over a few Sundays, what is the feeling you want? How about this? That you leave knowing that you have an unshakable knowledge and feeling that you are loved by God in this community. That your life has meaning and purpose. That you are unique and special. There's only one of you and the 7+ billion people in this planet. And your you-ness is beautiful and wonderful. And this special quality of you is needed at this particular time, in this particular era. And we aspire to do this through 4 core values. The hospitality, that you feel loved and welcomed and know that there's a place for you at the table. And if at any time during the middle of the service you need to get a cup of coffee or tea or water or lemonade, you don't have to raise your hand, just go do it. We do this through social justice. We feel that the world isn't created in the way that it should be. That there's still arcs that need to be made to lower towards justice. We feel that God didn't come and say, all right, the status quo is okay. You guys just go ahead and sit down, relax, take a nap. We do this through deep spirituality because you got to have something to be able to hold you through tough times and bad times. And we do this with joy. I one time heard a sermon by a guy who said, God did not send his beloved to this earth to make your life a living hell. And I think it's true. I feel God wants us to experience some joy. So friends and neighbors who are gathered here today, we ask you to bring your hopes, bring your doubts, and feed your soul. May we do this continuing in the worship of God and singing of hymn 43, Love Divine, All Loves Excel. Please stand here.
first reading is entitled Meadowbrook Nursing Home. Persons. On our last visit, when Lucy was 15 and getting creaky herself, one of the nurses said to me, "Why don't you take the cat to Mrs. Harris's room? Poor thing, lost her leg to diabetes last fall. She's 90 and blind, and no one hardly ever comes to see her." The door was open. I asked the tiny woman in the bed if she would let me bring in Lucy, and she turned her head toward us. "Oh, yes, yes, I want to touch her." I had a cat named Lily. She was so pretty and all white. She was with me for 20 years after my husband died, too. She slept with me every night. I loved her very much. It's hard in here since I can't get around. Lucy was settling in on the bed. "You wouldn't believe it, but I used to love to dance. I was a fool for it. I even won contests. I wish I had danced more." It's funny what you miss when everything is gone. This was a murmur. She'd fallen asleep. I lifted the cat from the bed, tiptoed out, and drove home. I tried to do some desk work, but couldn't focus. I went downstairs, pulled the shades, put on Tina Turner, and cranked it up loud, and I danced and danced.
This is a poem by Dylan Thomas, written in 1948. Jane gave me a book that I love, read it like 3 times, called, I think it's The Dawn of Everything. I don't know if anybody's read that one. In that book it said there's 3 ways that people are controlled, three pillars of power.
Use the mic, Scott.
Oh, is it not going? One is violence. The other is like technological prowess, I guess you could say it's knowledge. And the third is charisma, charismatic leaders and how they blind us. This song is clearly about the third, I think. So with that, I don't know if it's not, it played it a lot the last few years, put it that way. Raise it a little bit. Good.
To hear the golden note
Thank you. A poet named Matthew Olsman wrote this amazing poem, and it's an honor to read it, try to read it, and it has a lot of words, so listen close because it's a fun one. It's called Letter to the Person Who, during the Q&A session after the reading, asked for career advice. The confusion you feel is not your fault. When we were younger, guidance counselors steered us toward respectable occupations: doctor, lawyer, pharmacist, dentist. Not once did they say exorcist. Snake milker. What's a snake milker? Or race car helmet tester. Always investment banker, IT specialist, marketing associate, never rodeo clown, never air guitar soloist, chainsaw juggler, or miniature golf windmill maker. In this country, in the year I was born, some 3.1 million other people were also born, each with their own destiny, the lines of their palms predicting an incandescent future. Were all of them supposed to be strategy consultants and commodity analysts? Water slide companies pay people to slide down water slides to evaluate their product. This is an actual job. So is naming nail polish colors. Were these ever presented as options? You need to follow your passion, as long as your passion is not poetry and is definitely a hedge fund. If I could do it over, I'd suggest an entry-level position standing by a riverbank, or a middle management opportunity winding like fog through the sugar maples of New England. There's a catastrophic shortage of bagpipe players, tombstone sculptors, and tightrope walkers. When they tell you about the road ahead, they forget the quadrillion other roads. You will know which one belongs to you because it fills you with astonishment or ends with you being reborn. Reborn as an alpine ibex, a gravity-defying goat, able to leap 7 feet in the air, find footholds where none exist, and without imagining it could ever be anything else, scale a vertical sheet of solid rock to find some branches, twigs, or wild berries to devour.
Thank you. All right, this morning I am going to ground each of us in our own sense of playfulness. So play, being playful, is doing something just for the fun of it, right? But it's more than that, because there's plenty of things that we probably do just for the fun of it, like going for a walk around the lake or playing cribbage, but we can still be pretty stiff when we do those things, right? Or we can still be trapped in our logical minds or shut up in our thoughts. So I think play is more than just doing something for the fun of it. It's also opening up our imaginations or being silly. So, opening up our imaginations. How many of you can remember being young and swinging on a swing and seeing your feet touch the clouds and imagining yourself flying, imagining yourself swinging taller than the tallest buildings, imagining yourself swinging all the way around the pole and back again and swinging, or can remember wearing a towel like a cape and running around the house pretending to be a superhero, or creating a whole world with your dolls, or making a snow fort, or with your blocks. So I'm going to encourage you all now to get comfortable in your pews and close your eyes if you feel comfortable, and focus on your breath for 10 whole deep breaths, feeling the air moving in and out and through your body. Now allow a moment of play to come into your awareness. A memory of a time when probably you were a child, but maybe not. You had fun imagining and playing, or maybe imagine yourself having fun playing and imagining and entering that sort of imaginary world. Remember playing as a child, or at least imagine playing as a child and experiencing each of your senses. What are you seeing as you play? What are you feeling? Hearing? Tasting or smelling? And now feel what it felt like in your body to play and imagine. I'm sensing some resistance. Now put out the question to the universe. Try and bypass your thinking mind. Just put out the question to the universe. How might playfulness, imagining, deepen my spirituality? And see what rises in response. Now let's recall another kind of play, but this time instead of imaginative play, let's consider silly playfulness. When's the last time you acted silly, felt playful? Maybe you have a particular friend that brings out your silliness every once in a while, who makes you laugh till you cry, or maybe playing with your dog, you run around the house with the squeaky toy and sing him silly songs. Not that I would know anything about that. Or maybe playing with the grandkids. Allow a moment of acting silly and feeling playful to come into your awareness. I love that I'm seeing some people laughing right now. Now feel what it felt like in your body, and particularly in your face muscles, to be silly and playful. Being silly releases that adult stiffness, that sense of being locked inside of our logical minds. And so again, put out the question to the universe and just notice what rises up in response. How might being silly deepen my spirituality? What might another layer of meaning be to Jesus saying, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven"? And what metaphor might the kingdom of heaven be in this? And so when you are ready, I invite you to open your eyes. Find those slips of paper in your pews and write down a silly or playful thought, or a gratitude, a blessing, a hope, a wish, a desire, an intention, and those that you would like to be read out loud in community, you can place in the larger wooden bowl, and those that you would like to be left unspoken, you can place in the smaller metal bowl. Let us all, can you guys hear me? Let us all laugh and play with and love one another after all. God must find us to be very humorous at times.
Gratitude for the joy of grandson goofiness and wild energy.
Gratitude for the joy of ecstatic dance in my very healthy body.
Gratitude for the life of Doug Wallace. Prayers for Peggy.
A request for a loving mate for my journey through life.
Grateful for grandchildren who make me laugh while pretending to be a T-Rex, a frog, or a kitten. Is this mic on? Oh, okay.
Grateful for the reminder to not put away all childish things.
The 1st of September, the perfect day to listen to that classic old Earth, Wind, and Fire tune.
Gratitude for the gift of laughter, the way it lifts our spirits and warms our hearts and connects us to each other instantly.
Grateful for the trip down memory lane through the layers of silliness I uncovered from childhood.
Thankful for laughter that is uncontrolled and can't be contained. Thankful for my silly and bratty chickens.
Play is musician's work. Join the choir. And then it says, any kind. Any kind?
Yeah.
Any kind. Speak up, who wrote this?
I so appreciated Beth's reading of the poem and Carolyn's meditation.
Grateful for silly friends and entertaining friends who show up when you need them.
A few more requests, things for us to keep in mind as we are praying. Let's just start off. Hey, this weekend, Barb and Tom Balcom celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary, so here you go, Barb and Tom. And their son Brian and his spouse, or his fiancee, Allison, were married this weekend, so on the same day, so it's a good way to remember that. So reach out to Brian and Allison. And Jane, is this the Ezra that I've seen pictures of, the two of you together, right? So, right, Jane and Ezra are engaged, correct? Did I take that correctly? Did I read that correctly? Everybody? Yeah? Good stuff. Mary, is this your first Sunday back since knee replacement surgery? Way to go. Hey, good to see you. Good stuff going on. And Helen Body, great to see you, and your sister Ann, so great. Thanks for all for being here. Thanks, great to see you all. Yeah, let's just continue to remember, we haven't mentioned them in a while. I mean, they're in the program, and I know we pray for them a lot, but let's just remember Joel and Trish in our prayers. Let's continue to remember Dick and Linda and Kristen as we are continuing to pray for them. Let's remember caregivers and just all the love and support that they are giving others. School starts back for a lot of people tomorrow, so lots of stuff there, lots of energy. If you're wondering why Lori and I seem so joyous, empty nesting is a great feeling. So, it feels pretty amazing. It feels good. We're entering now, it's Labor Day, so now we're full on force, political season, between now and Election Day, and we're going to be inundated with ads, and we'll be told again and again that it's the most important election ever in our lives, even though we were just told that last election. And we'll be told that other people are, the worst people in the world, and they will say the same thing about us. So here we are in this world. So what do? Well, don't give in to that kind of, the people that disagree with you are stupid. I mean, you're going to want to say that. But has that ever, if you know somebody saying that about you, would it ever change your mind? I mean, how many arguments have you ever won by starting it with, you're just stupid? Never. And let's also be in prayer for Pilgrim Lutheran Church. That's our, a church we could say a sister church, Reconciling in Christ, ELC Church over in St. Paul. It's a church that Tim Walls goes to. And they have been inundated with hate mail, with threats, from around the nation and around the world because of their stances. So let's keep them in prayers. If you have a time this week, write a card to the church. Just tell them something, send them some good news. If you have a chance this week, please do so. We continue to pray for Gaza, ceasefire. We continue to pray for peace in Ukraine. in Haiti, in the Sudan, in Lebanon, in all the places in our lives where we have loved ones and friends, because we are all connected in this human family. Many other things to pray for, but those we lift up, especially this morning. The prayers that have been placed in a bowl, let's honor those, and then after this, let us sing together love. Listen to your children pray.
Hello. Can you hear me? No. Thanks. Yep. Yep. Good. Thank you. Good morning, all. Good morning. Okay, so this is a very interesting poem, and it is written by two people, which I think is unusual. It's not. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes? It's called For Around the Table, and it's written by Kate Bowler and Jessica Ritchie. God, awaken us to the everyday miracle of a simple meal, whether it's takeout that took a phone call, or the receipt that took an entire afternoon, according to the recipe. Or a cereal for dinner again feeling this meal creates. Bless it all. So blessed are we sharing a meal today. May we recognize God's goodness in the thoughtful preparation, in the delivering, in the eating together and savoring something that tastes like love. May our time around the table be a gift. May we be present to one another, engaging all of our senses as an act of thankful worship for the nourishment that's before us with the people we love or are trying to. God, bless the hands that prepare this, those with us now and the ones we wish were here. Bless us, O God, in all our eating and cooking and gathering and sharing, our jokes, talking with our mouths full, and elbows on the table. May we taste and see the love that multiplies. Amen.
Thank you, Margot, for reading that poem. Dana, I think I have an announcement you want to make about if you want to come on up, about the t-shirts. How many of you had that on your Judson bingo card? That's kind of a joke. I thought it was better. Yeah, get right up on.
Okay, yeah. So I thought there'd be more people here today, but if you haven't had a chance, last week a lot of you signed up, in fact, overwhelming response. Signed up for t-shirts. Come and see me at the back table. I'll have representative sizes and colors, and I don't have a finished product, but I have an example of the font and what the saying is going to be. And I'm going to put the order in on Tuesday. And, that way you'll make sure you get your right color, your right size. And after that, they're going to keep our t-shirt specification printing on file for a year. So if you decide you want one later, we can order them piecemeal. We don't have to do a batch of 50. So any questions, see me in the back after. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, a few things I'll let you know. So next week we'll start as Rally Day. So that'll be our official start of the fall schedule and some big things that are happening. We will welcome back the Judson Choir. They've been on holiday for months now. It's great to have them back. We will have baptisms next week. Masons, are you all still on for baptism fill-up duty? The Masons will be coming over to fill up the baptismal. So thankful for that. Now here's the deal. We only do this once a year, the baptism. So if you are thinking about baptism and you think, well, maybe I'll do it next time, you're going to have to wait a year. So just go ahead and come for it. And let's say you're iffy and it's Sunday morning and you're like, I don't know, I think I want to do it. Can I do it right then? Of course you can, And you may be like, hold on, isn't there a class? Isn't there all these requirements and restrictions about it? There used to be. But I've been really thinking more about this, and the communion stuff has changed it too. It goes something like this. We put so much of the emphasis on the individual. It's a choice. And it's this individual choice, and then you do it. But how much more of it really is more about community? The community believes in you. The community sees things in you that maybe you don't see in yourself. And this whole other part that God's probably got more faith in you than you do in God. It's a response to that. It's not, I check off all these boxes. I mean, think about all the decisions in life you make at one time in your life, but then you change your mind later. Baptism, I think, is part of that process too. A ritual, a coming of age, but also just a response to the kind of people that you're around. It's almost like osmosis. How do you become the people that you really like, that you surround yourself with? It's one of the ways to mark yourself in that regard. Now, will our Baptist ancestors come and have issue with that? Probably. But I'll take the heat for that. How about that? I'll take the heat for that. Baptism is coming up. Fall schedule. We will also start our part of looking at Mike Graves' book, Jesus' Vision for Your One Wild and Precious Life. Copies of this are in the library. If you'd like to get a copy, please do so. As soon as we run out, we'll put another order in. The whole idea is to try to get as many people reading this book, talking about the book, and having interactions with it. Make it a habit of thinking theologically. That's all. Is it the best book in the world? No. Is it a pretty good book? Yeah, it's pretty good. We'll go from there. And it's got really good questions. It's got nice pictures. We have field trips coming up with the fall schedule. So we're going to Mia. We'll be going to Oakland Cemetery. And and we're going over to St. Paul Cathedral. So we've got field trips that'll be a part of it as well. So get ready for this. And let me just say now that the next communion service, this is part of the fall schedule. Every year, the Sunday of the Twin Cities Marathon is our lowest attended Sunday. And we always hear because, it's terrible to get here, and also people want to go cheer on their friends. So why are we fighting it? So instead, this year, we're going to have Sunday service. Instead at 9:30, it'll be at 4 p.m. And we're going to have, it'll be in the fellowship hall, and it'll be a soup and bread type of affair. So have that in your books. So you'll be able to go to the marathon.
What date is that?
That's October 4th? 6th. How come I keep saying the 4th? October 6th. October 6th. So go ahead and plan that out. So those are things that are going on. Okay, so that's a fall schedule. We're going to have a little bit of time during the communion hymn. We're going to offertory hymn. We're going to have to rearrange things a little bit. So think of it as a dinner party. You got to change the theatrics of the house a little bit. You gotta make room for everybody, find a place at the table. You gotta have some special music, special lighting, all those kind of things. They'll take place here in a little bit. And then we'll have the official kind of welcome to the table type deal. But as the offertory is coming up, we will, or as the offertory hymns communion hymns being played, number 349, I Come With Joy, that we're going to transform the front just a little bit. So those who feel like you could probably lift something over 10, 15 pounds, if you can please come forward and help out with the arrangements. Thanks. There's still a couple more things coming forward, so just be careful here as we begin. So here's a kind of a thought process behind this. Here is this meal that is central to the Christian community. Some people have even proposed that if we had if we place our central symbol from the cross to the table, how would that change Christianity? For the first few hundred years, you find the very central symbol of Christianity being the table. And at that table, people are welcomed and people are made whole. Miracles happen. And how many times have you been to a communion service where it feels more like a funeral? Many times I've been to communion services and compared the time that's different at a funeral. Like, let's say that there was you spend more time thinking about the death than you do about the resurrection. And this is a resurrection meal. It should be joyful. It should be celebratory. It's a meal that symbolizes that God has not given up on you, that God's grace extends to you, and you should enjoy it. So we're going to practice a little bit of joy in communion. It may take a few more communions before this even starts to kind of muscle memory or kind of soul memory starts to take place, where you actually feel joyful at communion. So one of the things we're going to have here is also wisen a little bit more substantive? How come the bodies of Christ that we've all taken over the years have tasted terrible? What does it say about us? What does it say about our theology of the body? What does it say about our theology of grace and love? So Bruce Elliott has donated rye loaves that he made this week. And he's also donated a couple different kinds of cheeses. So here's what we're going to say. You're invited to come forward. Take your time. If you want to talk to somebody in line, go ahead and talk to somebody. If you want to kind of share the bread with somebody else right there in the midst of you, please do so. Again, it's a resurrection meal. Have fun. Have some joy. Give thanks that God has forgiven you and has not given up on you. The gluten-free bread is on we ran out of tables. The gluten-free bread's on the stool that is separate. And it's not, please don't think of it as a sign of disrespect for those who are gluten-free. We had to put it on a stool. We need another table. We're thinking we may have to just get this giant long table now for communion, which may be pretty good. Imagine on the end of it that maybe next time there's a little bit of ice cream on the end too. Or Hershey Kisses. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, so here we are. May those from the north and south, east and west, come and feast at the table of God. May this be a table of love for you. Come if you feel welcome. Come if you feel that you need this. Come if you feel that there's a little spot in your soul that needs some grace and love and forgiveness. Amen. When you feel so
fashionable, right? And it matches everything. Are you going somewhere afterwards? Yeah? Are you going somewhere after today or no? Wow, you don't have to. Oh, right. Okay. Hey, how's it going? Good. Good. Last Wednesday, it was your turn. And tonight I'm picking him up, so I hear from him a lot. I'm so ordinary. No, God. 100 there.
I want to see that. Okay, I'd like to see that.
Sit up there.
Now, what does that mean exactly?
All right, everybody, so that's here's the deal. You don't have to stop. You know, continue on. We do one more song, right? It's too fun. It's too much fun. Yeah, that's great. So Jamie and Scott have one more song.
Another time of reading your friends.
Here's the deal. You can come back up for seconds after the end of the song, okay? We got plenty. Make sure you take some home with you in that regard. So let's just give, I want to thank Polly and Gail for preparing the communion. Not Gail saying no, but I didn't see you in there. But nevertheless, but primarily, okay, 90% Polly, okay, everybody? So Polly, thanks for the Bruce Elliott is en route in North Dakota for a wedding, but he said he's watching it online on his phone as he's doing that. But thanks Bruce for the cheese and for the bread. Bruce, thanks for that. And then I want to say thanks to Scott and Jane for the music this morning. Thanks. This will be the last time you hear our summer benediction, right? Like next Sunday there's a new benediction, but this was heard. A group of people were leaving a beach volleyball game in Chicago, and Lori and I were walking by, and we heard this one person say to their friend, right? We love you. Have a safe ride home, and can't wait to see you until next time. So that's our benediction. We love you. Have a safe time. We'll see you next time. All right, Scott and Jane? Yeah.
song is kind of lost and found. I was talking to Jane about the music today, and she said, "Well, what about Noah?" And I said, "I don't know that I can find the words." So Jane pokes around her computer and finds the words. So that's so there we are. But I would say about a song like this, or a story like this, these historical stories, and I really like the notion of bringing a playful heart of a child. You know, it's really sad when we go back and look at stories that are really myths and say they're going to be true in all their particulars. I mean, there's different kinds of truths. So bring your heart of a child to this song, see if you can find anything new here. So, all right. See my boots, they are cracked and torn, and my hands calloused and worn, and the soil, it is ashen and gray. My sons and I, we have so little left to say. So it is, we scrape and carve the land, and these vines wither in our hands. My sons and I never question the facts. Look at them now, stare blankly back, and he says, "No, gather them up two by two. No, gather them up." It's way past time to reconsider these rules. Drop our plows, pick up different tools, build an ark, set it on this arid land. Pray God, please forgive us if you can. And here it says, "No, gather them up two by two. No, gather them up." Feel the cool breeze streaming in from the west. Wonder now, are we cursed or are we blessed? Black clouds baked like chariots, we fall down like marionettes, and it says, "No, gather them up two by two. Then from the west they came, two of every kind. Lions and gazelles, bears and fox, giraffes and lions.